What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's goody? Good evening. It's Uncle Jack. I'm here with Josh. Waiting for L a little bit later. Welcome to Southern Discomfort Part 3. We'll be speaking on Nolan Wells and other things, other issues in the South. So hit that like, sub, and share. Don't be afraid, it's free. You know what I mean? Josh, what's going on, brother? How you been?
Well, bro, you already know, maintaining. Been keeping track of this case that's been going on.
Yeah. It's a lot of things are coming out, a lot of more things are gonna come out. Pause. Um, you're getting is more and more things that are, make you say, remember that old term, things that make you say, this is one of
Facts.
those cases, one of those situations, things that make you say, and a lot more is coming out. This the calls, the distress call to the marina or to the dock, whatever you want to call it,
So
and
true.
hearing the background as they making a distress call. You guys say it again,
Right.
bro?
To the Cito.
Right. Yeah, to the Ceto. And it's like, what's going on here? Like, I hear what's going on in the background. Oh my God, he's not breathing and screaming his name and this, that, and the third. And it's like, whoa, there's just a lot more going on than what was spoken on.
Right.
So I mean, you got any info or any jewels you want to drop on a situation?
Um, just listening to the Cito recording, from the phone call, and hearing, like you said, the background of them saying, "Is he dead?" Oh my God, Nolan, you know what I mean? And then as the phone call proceeds, like you hear one of them yell out, "Damn it, Bart!" You know, and
Right.
from what they were saying, Bart wasn't even there. He wasn't from what Bart was saying, that he wasn't there. And then also they said that they left him behind so he could stay with Katie, the Katie McCormick girl, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I like just recently she came out with pictures with timestamps on it.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I said, it's a lot more going to come out with this case.
yeah,
And the weird part, they sent the autopsy. The autopsy came back. They sent it to the grand jury.
right,
They straight to the grand jury. And it's like, what's going? What did y'all find?
right,
Why can't the public know what's going on? And
yeah,
one of the kids, his mother is a judge.
yeah.
One of the alleged kids that may have or may not have been involved,
Now
his
they
mother's a judge.
right, and they say
So
she's a family court judge, but regardless of if she's a family court judge or a criminal court judge, she has connections in that field.
yes, so something is fishy, no pun intended. You know what I mean? Nolan Wells, rest in peace, bro. That's the young life and a bunch of lives. Newton, what's good? Oh, okay. What's good, Shaq? What's good, bro? Appreciate you for tuning in. It's a lot going on with that case. The mom's a judge, like you said, the connections, and I also want to bring something back to the attention of the people because you said something that made a lot of sense. It was a how you say a more than weed deal or more than weed situation that has gone wrong. Somebody done
Right,
slipped something somewhere. Somebody done took something. It was more than simple marijuana involved.
right, right.
And I think CeeLo was good. Doc is here. What's going on, Doc? What's going on? Of course, we speaking on Nolan Wells and the information that we're finding out since the last show. When he has a chance, because I'm sure he's at work, but when he has a chance, he'll tune in. But yeah, I think it's what you said, bro. Somebody took too much of something, and their body wasn't made for that. So I think there was
Right.
an overdose and an attempt at cleaning it up by them out of fear instead of just saying, "Hey, this is what happened. This is what we did. We messed up bad. We messed
Right.
up."
And the crazy
He's
thing,
already gone.
What you say?
Also, the other crazy part about it is that
How
basically,
y'all doing?
all right, how about you,
What's
Doc?
going on? You got
Also, the
But
crazy part.
what you said,
wait, hold up, you
that
going in and out. I don't know if that's me or I think you're going in and out.
Yeah.
Pause. But go
What
ahead,
makes it
let him find out.
what
Yeah,
makes
go
it
ahead.
even more crazy is that Nancy Grace, she been on this case, right? And
Yes.
what you call it? She making a good point about how everybody has videos and pictures of that day in their phone, and when they get
Right.
his phone back, everything is deleted. So from what I
Yeah.
hear, because everything was deleted, the family subpoenaed Snapchat and Meta to get the data on all of that.
Yeah, because it is funny how yeah, his phone was played with or tampered with, allegedly played with. Somebody was trying to either erase things,
Right,
or I know something wasn't going right with the phone situation.
right,
And
right,
that's sketchy in itself. It's
right,
very, very sketchy in itself. So you got this kid, 18, 19, he comes up missing. He's found days later, phone is played with or not on him. So it's like,
right,
yo, what do y'all watch too many movies, but not enough.
right. I mean, you hear in that phone call, one of the kids say, "Can we cover this up?"
Wow. See, I ain't even wow, I gotta go back.
Yeah, you can hear one of the kids say, "Can we cover
Wow.
this up?"
but
Yeah,
just to
that's
be honest,
just no, that's out of line.
but to just keep it in play. You know what I mean? And just to be honest, that that phone thing, I'm not going to read too much into that until it can really get broken down because there's going to be stuff played with AI. But the original phone call do have stuff in the background. It sounds shaky in the background, as far as shady stuff going on. But put everything in perspective. Forget black, forget white, forget whatever rich, poor, forget drugs, forget I'm trying to cover it up. If this was my man's that passed away and we got a funeral today or tomorrow, I'm going to my man's funeral regardless of the circumstance. Now, granted that the family may look at me twisted or whatever, I may not try to go with everybody's there. I may play, matter of fact, true story. May he rest in peace, D Money. Way that
Yeah.
situation happened, I didn't want to be there because I was the opposite of him, you know what I mean? But from across the street, I was there. From afar, but close, I was there. So I'm just saying that his friends didn't show up for the funeral, bro. His friends didn't show up. They're not showing no emotion or remorse from him passing away, regardless of how he passed away. That's sus. That's automatic sus, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We appreciate you. Yo, that's Doc 0528 from our affiliate channel, Horse Corp, Horse Corp Media, New York. You know what I mean? I know he ain't get to introduce himself, but
Yeah,
yeah,
my bad.
salute, brother. You know what I mean? Good evening. Y'all feel free to take his information, follow his channel. You know
Yes,
what I'm
thank
saying? So yeah, we
you.
appreciate you coming out, bro.
You already know. I appreciate you inviting me out here. You know what I mean? 'Cause this is a touchy topic. You know, I love topics like this. And
Oh yeah,
I
most
made it my
definitely.
and not for nothing. I supposed to be at work at 10:30, and I came an hour early just to sit down so I could have this time and not be in travel time. Because I know Josh is limited with his time out here as well. So appreciate you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. We should be out of here by 10 o'clock or a little earlier. Everybody should be able to get a good night's sleep for the AM, and you have a shift ahead of you. So yeah, we're gonna be in and out of here, fellas. Pause. But yeah, we talking about Nolan Wells and the situation with Nolan Wells and the things surrounding his situation. How this guy end up where he ended up on shore, face down, and his and a bunch of other things. His
And,
friends,
Yeah,
so
and then
his friends.
I just think that there's corruption with the friends. There's corruption within the police department. I feel like there's corruption with with
What's that? What's that?
huh?
Sound like vibrating or something. Okay, it's good. It's good. It's clear. It's good. Go ahead.
I feel like there's corruption with the friends. I feel like there's corruption with the police department. I feel like there's corruption with the system. I feel like within the state itself, I feel like there's corruption.
I mean, sorry to cut you off, Job. We gotta remember where they at. They in Mississippi. Like that don't do us color folks no good. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it hasn't. History shows that it hasn't done us no good. But even then, like from the get go of this case, if it wasn't being brought out by other people such as the internet, you know what I mean? The podcasters, like this wouldn't get, it wouldn't have got no traction. It wouldn't be in the news like how it is. Because how many other several people died in the South mysteriously while being with their friends or being hung by themselves. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's wild boy crazy that we got to think like that in 2026, but that's the way of the world. And like we
That's
discussed last
that's
week
why
or
I,
2 weeks ago,
that's
that
why
you got to be
I
careful what you
feel like
listen to.
I feel like what you call it, like it shouldn't matter because if it's in Mississippi or if it's in New York or if it's in New Jersey, I feel like what you call it, like that has to come to an end. Already.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it
But
shouldn't. You shouldn't have to feel uncomfortable because of where you at because of the color of your skin. You know what I mean?
it's
Like
just
that. It shouldn't be like that
systematic,
anymore.
bro. It's systematic, and it's not. It may not be people individually, but the system is still in play. And just for the record, I think I mentioned this on the last show, or I mentioned this to probably Jack off air, was that when you call the tip hotline, you was getting the judge. I mean, you was getting the judge. You wasn't getting the police, the sheriff's department. You was getting the judge. So the judge
Right.
was getting all the messages, all the tips that was getting dropped. So now she's ahead of the game. You know what I mean? And that's part of the family, part of the kid's family that's supposed to be a suspect. You know what I mean? It's so many people that's in places that has places of authority that don't want their child to be seen in a different light or in a bad light. You know what I mean? I
Right.
mean, I'm not going to mention one of the dude's name and one of the kids' name, but he's supposed to be a prospect for a sports team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be
Yeah.
a top prospect. So if
Right.
you're a top prospect and you know that you may be involved in this one way or another, you're going to try to stay far away from this. And his man done dragged his name all into the mud already. You know what I mean? So
Sure
he's
did.
stuck in a situation. They stuck in a situation, bro.
Yeah. I
Facts.
agree. I agree with that. Yeah. I definitely agree with that. That's insane. The dude is supposed to be a future NFL player. And
You
I heard.
probably don't
Well, it's
mention his name.
college.
But if you do, say allegedly because his lawyer is sending shots out. You know what I mean?
yeah,
His
of
lawyer is
course.
Everything is
covering his
alleged,
ass.
and we don't want to mention anyone who's underage, under 17. I don't know if all them kids are over 18. So, but
Right.
beyond, the subject at hand, I don't really want to mention names because I know they're all teenagers and for the most part, seniors in high school. So that's 17 years old, maybe
Right.
18, but I don't want things to get muddy. I just want to call them his friends, the group. I don't really want to get into, what I mean, specifics.
Right.
Yeah,
But
but
that
Because,
kid,
yeah, we
that
don't
kid
want
there,
this
he
season,
above
just this.
the dude that we just mentioned. He above age.
yeah, no, all of them
Okay,
18
okay.
I believe, you know what I mean? But the one that we talking about, yeah, like his lawyer sending sending cease and desist orders to all these
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
you know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
saying it just to protect his brand, you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Yeah, I know they protecting his brand because he's the future,
But
supposedly.
but I also mentioned from the top of the show when you first had this show was that I thought that the girlfriend family had something to do with it because he was Nolan Wells was black. You know what I mean? That was just my take on the situation because I didn't think the. I'm trying not to say the friends
Allegedly.
did it. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Allegedly.
yeah. Everything did actually. You know what I mean? Sorry. Yeah. So I just that was just my opinion and my take on it. You know what I mean? That it was weird. You know, because someone has to have photos, bro. Someone had to, not even maybe have photos of the situation, but have photos of what was going on surrounding around different times, and you could
Those,
pinpoint.
bro, video,
Yes, right.
video. Where's the video of what's going on? Like, we having this whole like we got plans to go to Vegas next year. You know what I mean? Like, are there not going to be any pictures or any film? Anybody being filming somebody being stupid, or you know what I mean? It's going to
And
be footage of people
this
acting their ass.
and this what bothers me the most is that like the dude that came in to do like the interviewing the kids and everything like that, right?
Right.
Um Tatum, right? He came in to interview the kids and stuff like that to prove their innocence and stuff. And then he gets mad because he says that everybody's trying to make it about race, but like, is it not? You know what I mean? Because if the shoe was on the other foot, right? If that was a kid of a different race, you get what you know what race I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
people would have been arrested by now.
Yep. Kids would have
You
been
Yeah,
know,
they would have been
segregated.
arrested. They would have been held.
They'd have been
I
segregated
do
for the
believe
start.
that.
For the start for 20 hours, bro, without letting their parents know and all of that. So we seen that Central
Yep,
Park
trying to
dog.
drill them.
We seen that. We seen that with the Central Five, the Central Park Five. You know what I mean? So we seen this book already. You know what I mean? So I don't know
right,
why people is mad that we are reading from the pages that we already seen. You know what I mean? And we
right,
just trying to prevent the stories from being rewritten type shit. You know what I mean?
exactly, exactly.
But I
Yeah,
agree with
they
you,
trying
man.
to save innocent life while one has been taken already. So
And
you,
and
you
then
gotta
you
you
have
gotta
to.
can't even fault him because they're building the brand. They're trying to protect their brand. They're trying to protect their legacy, their money, whatever they're trying to protect. There's protection going on by those in that situation and the people with some type of power in that situation. They're trying to slow things down. They're trying to you know what I
Control the
mean? Trying to
narrative.
hope everything blows over.
Control the
Hope the
narrative.
story loses traction.
That's why they chose
This
Officer Tatum to do the show. Because why would you choose that man? You have different platforms that you could have went on to that and discussed this. You know what I mean? But you chose Officer Tatum for that reason. You
Right,
know what I mean? So
right.
everything is being, they doing chess moves. You know what I mean? So we have to
they
counter
trying,
that. They're trying to, so they have to
but they
counter
moving
that with
pawns
it.
while the king and queen are moving in the back. They
And
moving
why, how you
the
know they
pawns
doing
up
it?
front.
How you know they doing it is for the simple fact of like, they sent out a search team to look for the body. They couldn't find the body from what they said. Then they found the body. They didn't say where they found the body, and then the body was fully clothed. You know what I
Something
mean?
in your background, I think, Josh. I
Oh,
think it sounds like you talking. It is something like some type of stat, like high pitch something. I don't even know how to explain it. But I mean, for the most part, we can hear you. It's just that noise. Some noise comes up. But yeah, what you saying, bro? It's for real, bro. Like they trying to slow everything down and hope hey, maybe it'll blow over. But this is the age of the internet, man. This is the media. Hit that like, sub, share button. Welcome to Horsecorp Media, Georgia. We speaking on Nolan Wells and the situation surrounding him and the people
it is.
involved.
It is the
So
media,
yeah,
but I feel like there should be change. You know what I mean? That's why I'm honestly surprised that Nancy Grace is actually going as hard as she's going in. You know,
she's
I
going
would have
hard
never
with passion
expected that.
I mean,
because
he
it's a
makes
young kid who had a future too. He just signed, I believe, he just signed to play with the school he was going to be attending this month.
what it touches home when it's kids that you have close to age. She said she got twins that's the same age as Nolan Wells, and it's just certain things you can't come and tell a parent, and a parent's supposed to accept it for what you tell her for face value. You know what I mean? I want to know more. And again, I didn't come in at the beginning of the show, but I heard you say something about the phone situation. Now, who leaves the phone? These kids nowadays ain't leaving phones nowhere. But granted, if you're going in a foot of water, you know what I mean, waist high water, you're gonna leave your phone inside. If you're gonna stay on the island, you're gonna get your phone, regardless of waist. Because the only way you're going to be able to get in contact with people, just in case you need to, is through your phone.
And this is
So
this is
that
another
whole
thing.
stuff,
This is another thing also, is that the boat was supposedly leaking. Was what you call
yeah,
it, like
yeah,
Thinking.
the boat, right? They called Ceto and everything because they said that the boat was sinking, right? So if the boat was sinking, why does the GPS show them going to other locations in a sinking boat?
Ooh.
because it was sinking. But what happened was, if you understand the communication that transpired before the Cito was still a captain, it was to another boat that was in the area, which I believe was a captain of the boat that was helping out with the Cito. This is all on recording as well because I heard it today. I heard it yesterday or today. Um, so Cito called that captain and let that captain know that these people was needed help. They were sinking. He was like, "Well, I just spoke to the grandfather." So the kids called the grandfather, let them know that it
Yeah.
was sinking, and the grandfather called this captain. But I guess he was like, "Okay, I know the people out there on the boat, so let me call these guys to help my grandson." You know what I mean? So he was like, "Yo, listen." Go check out what's going on with my son. They good right now, but they need some help. What happened was the dude that we was talking about earlier, that's prospered, that has prospered going into the to the sports events. Um, he came and helped them. He came and told them, not the sea told. He came and told the boat. So obviously, whatever transpired, if something transpired with no one on that boat, you know what I mean, then it was being covered up and it was being covered up, and that's why the Coast Guard wasn't alerted, and that's why they never recalled the Ceto because their people came in and rescued them.
I
The
honestly
last
think that
part
the
is
boat.
my opinion, but the what I just told you about the person that came to save them, that's on record as who came and rescued that boat.
Yeah, I think that the boat was never sinking. I think that they just called Ceto to as have it on record that they called.
That could be too. Trying to set
I
up an
mean that would
alibi
be,
or
yeah, yeah, but I just think I no, I just don't think so because, and I say that because what transpired in the background, you know what I mean, of of that call. That what we hearing or what we think we hearing or that chatter in the background of that conversation, that was recorded before the operator actually picked up the phone. So it was like us calling 911 and we waiting for that beep, that beep, that beep. And in that time, that phone call is being recorded, and we don't know that. You know what I mean? So it put everything in the back. So they wasn't prepared, and even if they try, that thought process would have been too fast. You know what I mean? I just think they panicked and they probably was taking on water and they just didn't want certain people to get there, so that's why they didn't. The Coast Guard wasn't alerted because it wasn't. They didn't want these authorities there. If I called the CTO, they don't did a routine. The steps that they knew what that CTO would do, and probably call somebody else. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or they called the grandpa, and grandpa told him, call CTO for the alibi. You know what I mean? Maybe.
they need all them phones. They
So
need them
many,
records. They everything need to be subpoenaed.
so many
Everything.
scenarios, man.
Everything.
This case is just, it just, it doesn't add, nothing adds up in it. Nothing adds up. The stories that they told, the Brandon Tatum, you know what I mean? Like like everything is. They said that he was with the girl. That he decided to stay with the girl, but now the girl is saying that she was never
So where the
with him.
girl at? Yo, but listen, when the news people be in front of people's doors, be like, this is Katie Callahan house right here. We waiting for her to come out the door. You know what I mean? Or this is Mary Ann Billy. You know what I mean? Like they do that to us. They be in the projects, waiting for the victim to come out, waiting for the suspect. You know what I mean? They be so why this not being happening there? And this is something that could boil over to something very bad. I just think we also being manipulated too. You know what I mean? I also think that this is not. I mean, like people being used, such as Officer Tatum, or into being baited into things that we shouldn't be baited into.
I think soon, once everything starts tumbling down, there's going to be a lot of heads rolling. Heads will roll. Futures will be in doubt, and hopefully justice gets served. That's all we can hope for.
Tina,
Hopefully justice gets served.
yeah, you got a message up there. Hey Tina, hey Grace, what up,
I
CeeLo?
see.
All right.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Hope y'all are good. But yeah, man. This case is gonna be it's gonna be a tricky one. But hopefully, I mean DNA. Hopefully, the technology we have now, the ways of finding things, finding out things. Hopefully, everything comes to a head because, like I said earlier, they sent the autopsy to the grand jury. Grand jury has the autopsy. I don't know if I've ever heard of that before. I'm not a law specialist. Matter of fact, I'm not even in law at all. But that's I've never heard that before.
I think the reason why
Maybe it's precedent. Maybe this is unprecedented. I don't know.
I
No,
think
it's
the
not
But
reason why
that
they
unprecedented,
did
but,
that,
but
the one reason why I think that they did that is because they don't want they don't want it to be a biased trial, you know?
sort of what he's saying is to what to the effect of why the prosecutor didn't. The reason why she said she was given to the grand jury at the beginning, it's one of the things that I heard was because she didn't want to make a decision and it be the wrong decision that the people would say that she made. You know what I mean? So she rather give it to the people and let the people decide on should this go to trial or not, or should someone be held accountable for this or not. And this was after the pushback because again, the initial thing was he drowned. There
right.
was no full. There was no no what you call it? What was his name?
Foul
There was
play.
no foul play. It seemed like there was no foul play. So that was the first jump. So if the public would have left it alone, then it would have been swept under the rug.
Yep, but we're in the age of technology, and that went from Mississippi to Georgia to Florida to Kentucky to California. Once it hit California and then New York, you're not sweeping anything under the rug with those places. That's the only good thing about New York and California. They are so liberal. They're gonna want justice for everything. That's what I mean. Every person of color, which is the only good thing to come of that. So they once big states or big cities get involved, what happened to this young black man? Because that's what it's all gonna look like once it hits certain places. What happened to this young black man who was surrounded by his non-black friends?
Yeah, but then okay, it hit these states like you said. It hit the world. It hit the nation like you said. But then what happened? Though, what happened with a situation like this? The wrong people take control of the
The
situation.
narrative,
Not the narrative, but take. And I'm talking about some people don't. A lot of people don't like Black Lives Matter, right? So if Black Lives Matter decide, let me go be the ones that take the lead on protesting, a lot of people turn to other people, be like, you know what? And I'm turned off now because Black Lives Matter is involved. You know what I mean? Now, if protests start happening because we demand answers, then like I said, it depends on who start leading and take the reins. Then this is how it's gonna go. Cause this will get swept in the room. Trayvon Martin, like all of this is a rewind. It's like a rewind button for me, bro. It's like taking a telephone booth and sitting down and going back in the past, bro. Like I'm tired of it, bro. Real talk, like, and I'm not
And
tired of it to where
even
that.
if they say, like, you could say that race is not involved. You could say that there was no race involved, like there was no racism involved or anything like that at all. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and there's something wrong with this case. You know what I
Facts.
mean? There's something wrong with
Stand
this
over
case.
approval. Stand over approval, my G. That's the best you can say, bro. Whether what color it is, what this case don't smell right, bro.
It don't. It really doesn't. And like I keep saying, when the truth come out, heads will roll. Futures will be in doubt. Because this could have kind of maybe I don't know. But I'm sticking with Josh's theory with bad substances. If somebody got slipped something and their body couldn't handle it. Not slipped. I think they knowingly took it. It just went bad. Things went bad.
Yeah, but then okay, but then there's outrage. And what happened to the back of his head?
What happened to the what?
What happened to his back of his head? Why is the back of his head red? Back of his head is red. You know what I mean? Like
One thing I could see
Right.
for that
But
is that he took the bad stuff and passed out,
yeah,
fainted,
fell backwards.
and hit his head.
yeah, but now, okay. Why? What the kids did with the body? They took it back to home, and then let's go back to Horn
And
Island and
that's
drop
the
it
part
off.
we're trying to figure out.
Like
It
like
shows that they went to the bayou. The GPS shows that they went to the bayou.
no, they went several places.
Yeah,
They went
they went
several
to a couple of
places.
places after the incident.
Well, we're gonna find out soon. I'm sure something is gonna get out that's not supposed to be out there because people talk. People can't keep their mouth closed. That hush hush, somebody's gonna say something because deep down they feel guilty, and this is something that they just couldn't keep to themselves, and they're God fearing person, and this, that, and the third, and whatever reason they come up with, is it's gonna get out. It always does. It always
Right,
does.
right.
And this just to throw this, I think Gia kind of killed Kennedy too. But yeah,
Who who
definitely.
who, who did that?
Gia kind of killed Kennedy, the mafia. That's just one for conspiracy theory. I think the mafia did it. But
I
yeah,
mean,
back
I think that they were hired, but they wasn't they're not the main people that want. You know what I mean? I feel like it was bigger than just the mafia. I think the mafia was hired to do so, but it was for the reason is for basically the reserves, the Federal Reserves. That's
yeah,
what I think.
I mean it's a lot of theories. I was just saying that like it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke. But I just wanted to say that for some reason. But now we ventured off. Hold up. With the Nolan Wells thing, before we wrap up, we actually can talk about it, other things, but I'm gonna wrap up the Nolan Wells section or session part of the story.
Okay.
But I mean, if y'all guys want to give last thoughts, that's fine.
I'm good, Josh. I mean, you go ahead first, Josh.
Um, my thoughts is basically I feel like if whoever knows anything about this case, what I mean, just come out and say it. Like don't hold it in. Like just it's the right thing to do. Like I feel like any parent would want to know what happened to their kid when they send their kid out to go on a trip with their friends. You know what I mean? I feel like any parent will want to know the truth on what happened. Regardless of his race, regardless of whatever. Like I feel like what's important is that what is right and what is wrong, and like what you call it. Like these people are wrong right now. I feel like they're going about things wrong. I feel like they're going about things in a suspicious manner. And I feel like that like this has to come to an end. Like it has to.
Right, definitely. Go ahead, Doc.
I mean, you know, it's crazy that, like you said earlier in the show, if the shoe was on the other foot, this whole thing would be turned a little bit different, a lot different. It would have been handled a lot different. Answers would have been
It would have been
provided.
handled.
Speculations would have been put out there. Criminal records would have been put out there. Um, and so, how it's being handled by the media, how it's being portrayed, and now really discussing what the victim may have in his body, or what he have or may not have in his body due to the toxicology reports. Um, but we still ain't hearing nothing about suspects. We still not hearing names. Um, we'd have had pictures of all if it was the other foot around. You know what I mean? And I hate to play this race card because it makes me seem like I'm that type of dude. You know what I mean? But when you raise from that lens and you have to look at the world in that lens, you have to call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? An ace a ace. You know what I mean? You have to call the card for its face value. And until otherwise, then that's the only way I could speak different. You know what I mean? I wish I could say that I don't believe this or I don't believe that. But I have to think the worst because the worst already happened or the worst has been happening to us. And it's sad that, that we have all these people with money that our color. And yes, some is doing stuff in the background, as far as paying for the funeral or don't. But it should be more coming from our community. You know what I mean? It should be more rage coming from Mississippi. You know what I mean? From the other states around there. You know what I mean? So it bothers me, but it don't really bother me because I understand that we gotta live in a world where we gotta work every day. You know what I mean? We gotta pay bills. We gotta work to survive. You know what I mean? Nothing is given to us, and if it is, it's given with a price. You know what I mean? I just want to say, sorry for Nolan Wells' family and their loss. You know what I mean? Sorry for us as a black community that we have to go through this again. For look at this from this lens. And I want justice, bro. I mean, I want justice to come out in the system. You know what I mean? Of course, but we also have to build within our community and be like, yo, fuck everything else. Let's look out for each other. You know what I mean?
True. I agree with that. I will say what I've been saying. You can't keep things like this in the dark for too long. It will come to the light, no matter how it does, but it will. I do hope justice prevails in this case. And people be careful in Mississippi, and these are people, this is a guy that's from there. So I mean, Mississippi is just not a place for people who don't live there. And it seems like it's not a place for people who do live there if you're a certain hue, color, hue, whatever. And myself, I hate to do the race thing too. But history is history. It's just like if a set of people have been kicked out of 700 nations. I mean, there has to be something with it. So Mississippi, too much stuff goes on in Mississippi and this little belt down here. Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina. You know what I mean? It's a lot of inexplicable things happening down here. So I mean, before you move to these places, because the rent is $600, you might want to know why. You might want to know why. So I mean, do your homework, keep your keep your head on a swivel. And I mean, when you make sure you got somebody that's on land that you talking to. Like if I went on a cruise, I'm calling Doc. I might hit Josh up. I'm letting people know this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm at. This is who I'm with. Y'all are nowhere near me. So if something go wrong, y'all know what's up. Y'all know I don't do certain things. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not for it. So you know what I mean? Like I'm not leaving my people I came with for no girl. And I'm staying back by y'all know I'm not doing that. I came here with y'all. I'm leaving with y'all. She either leaving with us or she getting left. Hey, you know what I mean? No. So, you know what I mean? Have backup to your backup. And sometimes you actually do gotta let mom and pop know what's going on. Sometimes, and nowadays, I mean, somebody got to know. Somebody got to know. Somebody got to know. And you know what I mean? Don't take things if you don't know. Don't take things not prescribed for you. If that's the case, do not take things that are not subscribed to you. Stick to your basics. I mean, you can get slipped some, but I mean, with the trying to get lit or whatever it's supposed to be doing, man. Stop popping shit. You know what I mean? If it ain't prescribed, but you know what I mean? As far as Nolan Wells go, man, rest in peace, bro. I hope your family gets the justice they deserve. Hopefully they get a couple of dollars behind it too. Hopefully, I don't know. You know what I mean? I ain't necessarily trying to end the show, but we can if y'all want to. We got a few minutes to kill. If y'all heard about anything else down south, y'all want to go backwards, speak on what's this dude name? Carmelo or anything that's Southern related. Because I'll talk about the train station down here. Oh my gosh.
Shit. There was a Chud the Builder repeat from a dude that was in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh no word? A
Yeah.
copycat?
Yeah, he came out and he said that he said that this is what his people do. They take you out to lakes and they throw you in the lake and they let you drown and things like that. And he laughed about it, he joked about it and everything. He said this is what we do, right? And then things go south because you know the internet is a bunch of detectives on the internet. So they'll find out where you live, where you work, you know, they'll find out about your history and all of that. They found dude's history, found out he had a domestic case. They found out where he worked. They told his job. The job fired him. His family kicked him
Wow.
out because what you call it. They went to his family and told to send his family threats. So his family kicked him out. You know, I feel like this has to stop. And I agree with the internet for doing what they did. You know, because like it has to stop. You know, all this ignorant stuff. Like I don't understand where this. Why is there so much hate? It doesn't make any sense. You
It
know,
really
and
doesn't though.
I know they was taught that. You know, that's why like most of them was taught to hate. You know, most of them was taught this as kids growing up. You know, from either from their parents or their grandparents. You know, they was taught this hate. You know,
Right.
and it's like stop listening just because they're your parents or just because like they your grandparents. It doesn't mean that you have to go exactly with what they go with. You know,
But that's also them not experiencing, being around, that the opposite of the hate, and when they look at them, they look at them in a certain light and don't look at them as equal. So, and then also the propaganda that be put in front of them on the internet, seeing the ghetto shit that we be doing, you know what I mean? So they feed into to that racism and that hate, and that's not right, you know what I mean? But people have to make better decisions, you know what I mean, for themselves, and they know what's right and they know what's wrong, you know what I mean. Rather who taught you, you know how you want to be treated, you know what I mean, and you need to start treating people like that.
but the thing is that like what you said is that you see stuff on the internet, right? Of what you call it, you see black people breaking into places or sticking somebody up or something like that. But if you go ahead and do research, you can find any race doing those exact same thing.
But you're not doing research on what you're watching. It's coming up on your algorithm, or it's coming up on the screen as far as the news. So this is what you're watching that night. You know what I mean? So you're not gonna go and look. Let me see what if there's white people doing. You know what I mean? Or if there's Hispanic people doing. You know what I mean? You're just gonna see and you're gonna take it for face value. You already was taught this. You know what I mean? You was already taught that. You know what I mean? And you're watching it and it's being brought to you because the algorithm is going that direction. You know what I mean?
Right,
It's just crazy because again, we could speak of something and 5 minutes later, it's going to pop up on your phone.
right,
You're going to be
right,
like, wow,
Yeah,
is this a
that's the
coincidence?
fact.
You know what I mean? So it's, again, who's in control of all of this? Because there's a pull, and it's not the world that's pulling. I mean, it is the world because someone's controlling it, but it's not spiritual. We would be doing this. You know what I mean? Like we
right,
wouldn't be doing it as human beings, bro. Remember, we started from I have silk, you have fur. I need fur, you need silk. Let's trade.
right.
So you know how to fish, I didn't. So can I get some fish? I give you wool, get some sheeps. You know what I mean?
Yo,
So it,
I have to say this, bro. I have to say this real quick. It refers to what you were talking about, and it's funny to me because you just put on a whole accent, bro. You just put on a whole accent for your trade and barter premise just now. I have wool. You have sheep. I need sheep. You need wool. But my bad, Joe. My bad. My bad. Joe, my bad. I gotta put this shit out.
I mean, it just bothers me that we just got so far from being people. You know what I mean? And caring about the next man. You know what I mean? Caring about the next woman. I mean, we heard each culture hurts itself. You know what I mean? If we have, the bottom of the bottom, each color, each race, you know what I mean? Each culture, you know what I mean? But one, what we do with them is, I think, determine on who we are, you know what I mean? But, that's jumping off what I'm trying to get at. But I just think that sometimes the people that has the money and the power, you know, to get into their head and they want more, you know what I mean? But you have already more than a lifetime worth. You know what I mean? You have more than your lifetime worth, your grandkids' lifetime worth. What more do you want? And then
That's what it's called, greed, bro.
that's when it comes to controlling the narrative. I want to control what I feel. This is how the world should go. I want to play God. I want to play. I want to play this right. I want to play. Let me follow this book right here. You know what I mean? It's just crazy, bro.
Yeah, no, that's a fact though. The way things are going, I mean, it's a scary world, and it's like we're regressing as technology is going forward. We're regressing as people
We
because you
almost,
get it's dark, man. People doing some dark shit, man.
I feel like honestly, we are definitely regressing for the simple fact of like everything that they come out with, we think that is to our convenience, but in reality, it's just making us lazier. You know,
That,
it's
hmm
making us
especially
lazy
that.
as a person. They
hmm
every time you look on TV, they got a fast food commercial to make you hungry and make you want to go out and eat, and you don't even have to eat. You know, like they want to make you lazy. They want to manipulate you. They want to like mind control over you. You know, so basically, like
Keep
when it
tabs on you.
yeah, they want to keep tabs on you, right? That's why everything is becoming electric, everything is becoming digital, you know,
Uh-huh.
coming out with electric cars that like the new model for which I'm not going to say the brand of the car, but they basically they tell if you have been drinking or not. It could read your emotion, you know?
I mean, it just bothered me because, like I said, and I said this in 2022. Yeah, in 2022. I said, it just bothered me that how the world shifted 2 years prior. It scared a lot of people, bro, and it scared people that I swear, bro. I look at some people. I don't look at people as like RoboCop or a superhuman because ain't nobody that. You know what I mean, but I look at people like better off, maybe a little bit smarter than me. You know what I mean, or a lot smarter than me, I should say. And that people like that was scared. You know what I mean? People like that was tough, build hard body. Like, I'm not scared of nothing. They was scared of that situation, and we lost a lot of people. First and foremost, you know what I mean? May they rest in peace. Secondly, we got detached from being peoples. The 6 feet separation. The I can't go visit my family members. my grandparents, my grandmother, my mother. I can't see my mother how I normally see her traveling on the train or something like that. You know what I mean? Like a lot of things was taken away during the 2 years, and some people went and went in the direction of what the government and what officials were telling them to do. You know what I mean? Because some people had to keep their jobs, some people had to keep their livelihood, some people had to be around their family members. They had to do this and do that. You know what I mean? And people sacrifice. We sacrifice as a nation, as a world.
And I feel like that was just a test, you know,
Yes,
for the simple
yes,
fact
bro.
of now, because now you need a digital ID in order to go on a plane, you know, and now it's going to come down like later on in the future. Pretty much it's going to come down to you need a chip inside you to go and fly out. You need a chip to go get food. You need a chip to to have a bank account, you know. And some people feel like they need to make that sacrifice in order to survive. But in reality, we're supposed to nip this shit in the bud right now. You know what I
But
mean?
again, you said it. They use this saying of we're going to do this for security. We're going to do this for convenience. Not they don't use convenience. They use security. You know what I mean? We're going to use this because we don't want X and Y Z to happen. So we're going to bring this program out. You know what I mean? Because the flock cameras thing, bro, that's just one of the start of the programs too. You know what I mean? Look what China,
Indicator in
look what they're
Fulton
doing.
counties.
You know that digital currency is crazy, bro. It's like you can't
Bitcoin.
board a plane, or you can't eat at a certain restaurant if your credit score is just like there's gonna be tiers and levels to this. You know what I mean? Like, and are we prepared to be looked at, in a different perspective? You know what I mean? Or on a certain tier. You know what I mean? No matter if the Democrat, Republican, black, white, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like you want to be looked at as X, and that person going to be looked at as Y, and then there's going to be A, B, C, D. You know what I mean? And we're
Exactly
going to be
why
like,
they
oh,
keep us segregated. That's exactly why they keep us segregated because they don't want us all to figure that out and come together. And because we outnumber them by many, we outnumber them by many, but they don't want us to realize that because once you realize that, they're screwed. You know what I
Listen,
mean?
Josh, you said it last week, Josh. You said it last week. With it said you can't dominate if you stay with if you continue to segregate. You can't dominate.
Right.
You can't, yeah. And until we decide to integrate, we can't be great. We can't be
That's
great.
that's why like
See,
that's why I feel like
I seriously don't care. Wait, hold on. I don't care about the Democrat Republican thing. The Republican thing for me is the state of mind, whereas I'm ascending, like to make my point. And
they're two wings of the
as
same
far as
bird.
ascension, I don't care about the changes that have been made. Like when there's a what do you call it? Everybody's suffering, man. We don't be suffering, man. We how do you call that shit? We keep our work. We just ascending, bro. And as long as you don't make excuses, you just keep doing your thing. You know what I mean? I don't have the same complaints other people have, and I don't want to have them. I feel for people now, but it's a lot of laziness and shit too.
there is, yep,
And I just don't feel bad for lazy people, and I won't. That's what the Democrat Republican shit is about. I align more with the Republican Party than I do the Democratic Party. That's what what my shit lines up with. I was independent first. I was never a Democrat. My mom's voted for Rudy Giuliani twice. And basically, like, once shit hit the fan, Democrat, like you said, Democrat or Republican, we're fucked.
Right.
Eat the right,
I
the
agree.
left, it don't matter, man. We need to meet up in the middle. Put all that
Exactly.
feeling shit out and let's meet in the middle and let's talk about this. Let's talk about bettering this nation, this country.
right,
That flock
right.
camera shit is an invasion of privacy, but there's also no expectation of privacy in public.
No, there isn't. there isn't. But if data is being used and being compromised, and that data cannot be securely, secure, then why? I don't want that data out there. I don't want my because yes, you can get my data from anywhere, but if someone's aiming for that and want to do bad, since you storing my shit, then you should be liable for what's going on with my shit, regardless if because that other person when they got it, if they didn't get your database, you know what I mean? I mean that's what I'm just saying. But again, I'm not worried about expectation of privacy in public because we all know that we can't have that. But when that thing could be used for one thing, if something happened, you say you put this up here for the public use and for just to have it on for file just in case anything happens. But now you're using it to the discrepancy of the government use. You know what I mean? Using it to malice or to control the people, the population. Then that won't be
Yeah,
right, bro.
they are. That's exactly what they're doing. That's why what you call it. Why do you think they're coming out with all these fruits? Remember when back in the day when we was kids, fruits used to have seeds in them.
Hmm.
Now
Hmm.
And
you
them,
can't
yep.
even find a fruit with seeds in it.
Nope.
They got
None.
seedless
You can't
watermelon. They got
import them either.
None. Nope. You get in trouble. But
yo.
again, we gotta say
There was a state
who's controlling this. You know what I
there was a
mean?
state that what you call it. You couldn't even collect rainwater.
Facts. I just seen that. I did just
Yep.
see some YouTube. Someone got arrested for rainwater or something like that, or I don't know if it was
You can't have
satire,
a
but
garden either. In certain places, you can't have a garden either.
Right, right. They don't want you to. They don't
Or you
want you.
can
They want
grow
you to
but
be.
so much.
They want you to be dependent on them. Why do you
hmm
think that the price every time the price that we when we get paid it goes up, but also the price of living goes up with that because they want us to live
hmm
check by check. They want us to
hmm
need a
I,
job.
yep.
you know what my rent
And
was
then,
when I first moved down here? It was half of what it is now. Well, a little
But
less. Yeah,
again,
half. Like 675, bro. Every time I got a fucking raise, my rent raised too. That's why they
again,
tell you to
but
try to own a home. But you got to buy
right,
land, not just the home. You got to own the land.
right,
again, if we go back and look at history, you know what I mean? And a lot of people ain't gonna go back and look at it because you have to go redo research. Um, it's put into words on how people looked at how they want society to be built. You know what I mean? How school, didn't teach us no trade anymore. We was taught to um to remember. You know what I mean? Not to to use our mind, but to remember. We was always told from time to time, and that's how work transpired. You know what I mean? We used to
right.
say that things are set up to like group homes set up like jail. You know what I mean? And it's set up the same way. You know what I mean?
I mean,
So
school was designed to keep
Percent
us
of money.
to keep us like we at work. That's why we go
yes,
to eight
Robots,
hours
yeah, to get
eight
you
hours a
ready for
day.
it.
yes. I,
Get you
I,
ready
I,
for the work field.
I forgot who said it and who did it, but it's written in text. I just seen that too. You know what I mean? So it's being like who's being controlled. You know what I mean? You got to remember stuff started in 1947. Things happened in 1948, and then things happened in 1949. Look at what happened in the world around them times, and y'all come back and tell me what's going on. You know what I mean? Who
Right.
controls the world? It is real talk, bro.
Yo, I know we pressed for, so we got like 1 minute left. I know y'all got to clock in and all that, but I want to appreciate y'all, man, for coming through and talking with me. I
Don't be
appreciate
throwing me off the show.
the
I got
people
30
who
minutes
tuned
before
in.
I clock in.
Say it again.
I said, don't be throwing me off the show. I got 30 minutes before I clock in. 25 to be
All right,
exact.
I understand. I'm gonna throw
So, I
myself off,
mean,
right? I'm gonna throw myself off, and I'll come back and turn it off when you call me when you finish,
you
and
stupid.
I'll close the studio.
He like, I'm ready to go eat. No, you about to go eat some food yours.
Yeah, I'm definitely about to go in the kitchen and fuck some shit up. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for coming through, man, for real. Appreciate the chat as always.
Thank you.
Bakwa, Tina, Grace, Miss Brenton, always. Shaq, man, what's good, bro? H Low, C Low, Miss Brinson. You know, if I said that, if I didn't say that already. But man, I appreciate y'all. Hopefully, I mean, we get it jumping over here. Hit that like, sub, and share button. It's free. But you know what I mean? Tune in next week. We're gonna be talking some more Southern stuff. Soon I'm about to maybe in the middle of the week on my sister network, well, brother network. We don't do sister nothing here. On my brother network, uh Horsecorp Media, New York City. I'll probably be talking sports soon, and I'll be speaking sports down here. And I also have a whiskey tasting. I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whiskeys here, and I'll be for now I got 5, and I'll be telling everybody the difference. You know what I mean? How to ball on a budget, what's awesome, what's not. So I mean, if y'all got any final words?
I appreciate that. Appreciate everybody. Thanks for having me on the show. You know what I mean? As always, bro.
Word, Josh.
Yo,
Yo, any
we
final
just
words? We about to sign out.
bet. I just want to say, everybody be safe out there. You know what I mean? I feel like we should put our differences aside and come together. You know what I mean? Like we're not each other's enemy. The real enemy out there is trying to get us all. You know what I mean? And that's what they want us. They want us to be against each other. But in reality, we need to stick together. You know, and once we do that, then we'll have control. We'll have to say so, on things we don't like in life. You know what I mean? Uh, our everyday struggle. We really don't have to go through that. We choose to go through that. You know what I mean? I feel like we need to stick together.
Yes, sir. Salute to that. Word, I'll take one of that. But
Uh,
yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. We'll be in the studio still. So if you still want to chat or chop it up before you hit the clock, Josh, you know what I mean? You don't gotta leave. But everybody, y'all have a good night, man. We up out of here. Peace and love. Love and peace.